Cool. We are officially live. Welcome to the show, brother.
Thank you.
I have absolutely nothing planned for today.
Fantastic.
So we'll see what comes out.
Yeah.
Starting off, you want to introduce yourself to the homie watching right now?
Hey,
Who
hey.
you are, what you do, how you got to being on the show?
Ah. Well, my name is Clint. I've been in Bali for 9 years. Um, I don't know what I identify as anymore because I'm half French, half Irish, but I've been 30% of my life in Indonesia. So start to feel like my heart is becoming Indonesian,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Um, and yeah, I was a drummer all my life. I was a musician all my life. And I took a year break because some bands were supposed to blow up and they didn't, and I got frustrated, and I decided to travel the world.
Yeah.
And when I landed in Bali, that was it. And I became an entrepreneur. Like most people, in Bali, you need to be an entrepreneur. It's very hard to find a job here.
Uh-huh.
I think that one of the something that's very alive right now in my life is that I've been healing my masculine side and connecting with men, and that why I'm saying this right now is because actually I started traveling also when my dad died. So I was a musician all my life, and my dad was not the happiest dad because he wants me to have a career, and
Yeah.
and I became an entrepreneur when he died, which he would have loved me to be, right? Um, but it turns out I know for a fact from all the personal development, and you would have talked to Clint about this before Bali, he would have said, "What the fuck are you talking about?" But today, after all the personal development and spiritual work I did here, I guarantee you, my dad's here listening to us right now because this is a great moment, and for sure he's here.
That's amazing,
Um,
man. Thank you for sharing that.
yeah, that's kind of there's many things alive right now, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Um, yeah, that's where I am right now, and I think I'm done with being a young man, and I'm starting to be a man slowly. It's a big,
Mm-hmm.
massive movements in my life, and now I'm starting to be on podcast, and I'm starting to do all these networking where we met,
Yep.
Terra,
Terror event.
networking,
Did
public
we
speaking.
meet at Terror? Or did we meet at Bali Brotherhood?
I
Because
think,
I've seen you at both places at this
yeah,
point. There's
I don't know.
an ant that's been fucking crawling on me.
I think something like I saw you at Terra, but we didn't say hi, we didn't meet. Then I saw you at Bali Brotherhood,
Uh huh.
and then the, after that, when you came again to Terra, this time we were like, "Oh, I know you." So then we said hi, something like that.
Dope.
Yeah, uh, Bali Brotherhood's dope, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Um, something very. I feel like I'm a newborn in many many layers, and one
Mm-hmm.
of the layers I've been a newborn is that I converted to Christianity 6 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
Been going to New Tribe, amazing church in the middle of a nightclub and all this crazy
Oh,
stuff.
at Atlas.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, I went to that once. I
Yeah.
went to the one. It was like maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago where it was Ask the Pastor.
Okay, that was a
Yes.
special one because it's
Yeah.
a bit of a weird one. They do it only once a year because it's a lot of talking. But
Yeah.
yesterday they had a DJ
Mm-hmm.
producing Christian songs on DJs, and the whole nightclub was on fire.
That's
It's
cool. That
crazy
place is beautiful, man. The
energy.
architecture and everything.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget when I first walked into that place. They were doing I think it's called Praise. I grew up Christian. I grew up
Oh wow. Okay.
I went to a Catholic school growing up,
Oh wow. Okay.
and I've never experienced church to be like that. Like I remember walking in during Praise, and it was just like the energy of the fucking place, man. Like the it was just like this unity of like love, like everyone was singing. It was so powerful. um and honestly, that was my favorite part. I haven't been to like a regular
Church here.
no, not even like a regular session of that church.
Oh yeah.
That was the only time I
Yeah.
went. um but yeah, man, that was crazy, and the architecture was beautiful.
It's like God's work
Uh-huh.
because the nightclub looks like a church.
Yeah.
It's designed like a church. The visuals, the glass with
Hmm.
the colors, and the space and all that stuff, and just the amount of luck for the pastor to meet the owner of this place in Jakarta randomly in a coffee shop.
You met the owner of Atlas at a coffee shop in
in
Jakarta.
Jakarta, where they both don't live.
So if you're watching this and you're not in Bali, Jakarta is a totally different island.
Yeah, and it's the same country, it's the capital of the country, but it has basically nothing to do with Bali because
Mm-hmm.
minimum salary is 3 times bigger, corporate finance,
Mm-hmm.
massive infrastructure, second biggest city in the world.
Mm-hmm.
We're
Do you
different.
have your mic?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, kind of felt like this. Okay.
there we go. Okay.
Yeah.
And
So
on
yeah,
that note, I'm just gonna make sure we're recording real quick because someone's telling me to make sure. Cool.
yeah.
All
So
right. So you met the owner of Atlas
no,
in.
my pastor did.
Oh, your pastor
Yeah,
met the
Pastor
owner
Don.
of Atlas in Jakarta,
Yeah, randomly.
like a few hundred miles away from here.
Yeah. Like a
Okay.
3 hour long plane, right?
Yeah.
And they were, so this church was growing and they didn't have space anymore,
Mm-hmm.
and like that's what pastors say, God provides. And bam, they met randomly this pastor and they said, well, I have this place if you want to use it in the morning or in the afternoon before we open, because it's a nightclub,
Yeah.
and you're welcome to. And they made a deal, and
I was curious how that happened because
yeah,
like nightclubs and churches aren't a normal collaboration.
right. It's
So it's interesting. So you got people the night before that are partying till like 3, 4 in the morning, and then they're showing up to the same place.
and to be very honest, this club is one of the club where I would never go because it has very much this vibe of, for example, they show on the screen how much is the biggest spender of the
Uh,
night, like all this ego, look
yeah.
at me vibe. Like it's a very, there's some cool clubs. I'm not a
Hmm.
club guy so much, but some clubs are really cool, good music, techno. If you
Yeah.
like this kind of stuff, good it. But that club
Mhm.
is a bit special.
Yeah.
Um, Very Jakarta, very weird.
Hmm.
But yeah, God's work. Provided, and so how I went the first time to God, to Christianity, is because I am a drummer, so I had a band with a guy called Anga.
Anga?
Anga is a
Interesting name.
Indonesian guy. Yeah,
Okay.
actually he could come here. He's part of Body Brotherhood.
Hmm.
He's part of church. He's a Christian surfer, and he was one of the
Okay.
best. He's in the top 10, maybe top 3 of the guitarists of the country.
Really? For surfing? Oh, for guitar.
Yeah, and
Ah.
I play with him, and I started playing
Okay.
with him, and every time we play, I play with him and I'm like, fuck, this guy plays
Yeah.
guitar. Like in my career and friends in Europe, I rarely played with that level. And
Yeah.
he's really tapping and the crazy stuff.
Uh
And
huh.
one day we tried to rehearsal on a Sunday. He says, I'm sorry, I'm of service at church. I'm like, you playing in church? Yeah, and the church is in a nightclub. And there's 1,500 people. And there's a lot of girls, he said. Which is not supposed to say that. But
Yeah.
it was his way of bringing me to go
Enticing
there.
you.
And I was like, you are playing for free in a setting with a screen and a sound system, and
Hmm.
I'm gonna come and have a look, right?
Yeah.
I have to. It's a church. I love weird things.
Hmm.
I love things that are just not
Yeah.
common. Nightclub, church, organ guitar, and electric guitar, and
Hmm.
I've never been to church in my life. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know there would be an acoustic drum set, a bass player, keys, 4 singers, electric guitar, acoustic guitar. I didn't know. I
Yeah.
know Christian Catholic church,
Yeah.
like
Exactly.
that vibe, right? And I didn't know, so I went there, and turns out I will always remember the sermon of the pastor, Pastor Don. He said the sermon was about being righteous.
Hmm.
I didn't even know the word before.
Hmm.
Turns out all week I felt an amazing amount of light inside me.
Hmm.
See, I'm wearing colors now, but I would be always in black type of guy. I've come
Hmm.
from metal, rock,
Yep.
very tattooed, pursed guy, like
Hmm.
and very dark. And I'm working on this now to be more bright in my life. But
Hmm.
started one of the big step was Christianity and Pastor Don and NTB, New Tribe Changu, or church,
Hmm.
because all week I felt righteous, man. I was driving my bike and somebody would cut me off, and usually I would scream, and I would just felt like be the higher. I was I was touching my higher self consistently every day. That's what was
Yeah.
happening to me. So I need to try one more time. Went one more time. I felt that again. And I talked to the pastor and I said, it's funny because the feeling inside me is a bit like when I do a big personal development workshop, like core energetics and family constellation and things we can talk about it later. But all these workshops that make you, or a big breath work, for example,
Hmm.
that drops your tensions and your traumas a little bit and put everything down, and you
Mm-hmm.
become more bright, right?
Uh-huh.
Church does that every Sunday for free for 1,500 people. Come anytime.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, so I just started coming more and more, and I decided to do 8 weeks in a row.
Mm-hmm.
After 4 weeks, I joined the band because I'm a drummer. So now I played. I played Sunday. Joined the band and see how it feels and all that stuff. And then he got baptized because I just want to. I don't do things halfway. Like I just want to do it
Mm-hmm.
and see how it feels. And today, I'm a multi-dimensional being. I
Mm-hmm.
don't only believe in God and only believe in Jesus and only do that. I think
Mm-hmm.
Christianity is a part of my spiritual and personal development, as well as body brotherhood, men's circles, family constellation workshops, core energetics, body work, energy work, trauma work, breath
Mm-hmm.
work. I believe in yoga. I believe in everything. I think
Mm-hmm.
everything should be done. Actually, one of my frustrations from the Christian world is that a lot of Christians only do Christian stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and they
Ah.
believe that you could just pray and heal. And I actually don't believe that so much. I believe you should actually believe God created everything and everyone and people like you and people like me to heal others and help others and workshops and all this stuff are not there for nothing. They are there for us to experience life
Yeah.
and to go through life. And Christianity and God is a pillar to give us power, to connect us to the higher self, to be
Mm-hmm.
righteous and all that. That's the most important thing. The book and all these Bible studies is not my cup of
Yeah.
tea so much, but it's just part of um, yeah, one of the inspiring things I do. I really believe it's inspiring for sure. Um, so yeah, there's many ways to be Christian, and it's not something to be ashamed of. Some people are,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it's a beautiful thing. If it's done right and if it's good for you,
Mm-hmm.
do it. And that's what I'm doing.
So
Yeah,
that's a crazy amount of coincidences or
yeah.
whatever you want to call it. You're a musician and tried a bunch of things growing up. You eventually moved to Bali, decided to open up a sound studio.
Yeah,
Is that
music
right?
studio. Yeah,
Music studio. You came across a really talented drummer,
music guitarist.
guitarist. Sorry,
Yeah,
I'm still learning. Really talented guitarist who was like, "Hey man, I perform for like 1,500 people in a nightclub, but it's not for a nightclub; it's for a church." And you were like, "All right, cool, I'll show up." And then it got you to convert to Christianity, and now you're playing there.
yeah, yeah.
That's a crazy journey, man.
And now I see and I feel I'm attracted to all this bright light energy and the
Hmm.
brotherhood, the body brotherhood, the men's circles.
Hmm.
I feel super righteous when I leave there. I
Yeah.
feel proud to be a man, a good man. I feel proud. I want to be. I leave that place with so much energy to help others and bring light in
Yeah.
darkness and all this stuff. And I believe what we do in the Body Brotherhood is actually so Christian somehow.
Hmm.
Terra, where we met,
Hmm.
is a club for entrepreneurs to find your mentor and get mentors and network and everything's for free.
Hmm.
Everything's about giving and karma. That's so Christian
Yeah.
by definition, right?
Hmm.
So it's also all these things. I'm very attracted to all these things that bring a lot of value to people, where money is not of the center of the
Hmm.
room.
Yeah.
And I believe the more we help each other, the more we bring value to each other. At some point, money just starts flowing in our lives. That's
Yeah.
really what's happening to me now, and and I like to like help people think like that. If they focus on money, they don't focus on the right thing. If you focus on making value and bringing and uplifting people around you, unbelievable things start happening. It's
That's
really,
amazing.
yeah, yeah,
That's cool. We're in a few different things together, and we really didn't know it at first. We're in
yeah,
Tarot, Bali Brotherhood, church. Probably find out some other things
yeah. That's
too
what
in
I'm
the
thinking
next
right
in the
now.
conversation.
Mm.
Cool.
A gym, obviously.
Jim, you go to Obsidian?
No, no, no. I go to Louis Fitness because I live in close to Seminyak.
Ah, I'm so sorry that you live close to Seminyak.
I love living close to Seminyak.
Really?
Yeah, because the thing is, when you've been living here so long,
Uh-huh.
like me, um, you're kind of tired of being treated like a tourist
Hmm.
as a white guy. I speak fluently Bahasa,
Hmm.
and where I live, I walk in cafes, laundries, restaurants, everywhere I go. The staff know my name.
Hmm.
They speak to me in Bahasa. They don't speak to me in English.
That's,
And um, and even in a new place like in that area, only expats live and locals. And
Mm-hmm.
yesterday I went to eat in a new nasi place,
Mm-hmm.
rice for the people that don't know. Like it was a Bali champur, and I didn't have cash, and I didn't know they didn't take QR code or any kind of
Yeah.
payment method. And she said, "Yeah, you pay tomorrow." She'd never met me in my life. I never ate there in my life. She said she looked at me because there's trust, because she knows from my energy, because I can tell you who's from here or who's not. Um, my the way I speak Bahasa is a bit,
Mm-hmm.
you can hear it's not, it's
It's
true.
not
Okay,
freshly learned.
yeah, yeah, and it's just that area where I live is an area where it reminds me of the old Bali.
Mm-hmm. Really? In
Yeah,
Seminyak?
yeah,
Bro, I've been to Seminyak like a handful of times, and for me, it's never been a good experience.
yeah, because you go to the
And
clubs and all these like that
I don't
main
do
streets.
clubs.
I don't do
I
clubs, but I mean that main
just,
streets things.
yeah, that area, man. It reminds me of like Vegas mixed with Harlem and New York City, and
Yeah,
it too much for me. But
yeah.
yeah, I feel like that's like super tourist party town. So for you to say like it's old Bali and tranquil
So
and like good quality local people,
yeah,
I mean, all the
Seminyak.
locals here are pretty good quality.
Yeah, Seminyak people know Seminyak just as this what do you call that, main district thing, but
Hmm.
Seminyak is bigger than that.
Ah, so you're not talking about like
No, no,
in the heart of Seminyak.
no.
You're talking about in the bigger picture
Yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
Seminyak. Okay,
And
cool.
north of Sunset Road is still Seminyak too,
Hmm.
and that's where I live. Gunung Salak and all these streets.
Yeah,
Some people would know, and yeah, and it feels like Canggu changes every minute, man. You don't come to Canggu for 2 weeks and you don't recognize the place. My family, four cousins, two uncle and auntie. My
hmm,
cousins are born here or came here when they were 2, 3, 4, and 6, something
hmm,
like that. Went to school here, and I have photos of them in the shortcut of Batu Belong doing bicycle. You can see the ocean from the shortcut, and it's only rice
hmm.
fields. Their childhood, their childhood city, disappeared from the map because Canggu today, 20 years ago, is not
Yeah,
even, can't even recognize anything, right? And we all live over there now because
yeah,
over there it doesn't change anymore, and it feels like we can build our home, and in 10 years it's still going to be similar.
yeah,
Whereas even here, now where we are, all these
yeah,
trees, all these rice fields, every greenery we see around here, in
yeah.
5 years is gone.
I
Promise.
believe it. I seen a picture of the shortcut like 5 years ago, not even that long ago, and I'm like, there's no fucking way that was it.
Yeah,
It looked like it was a. It looks like Grand Theft Auto came over and just was like, "Yep, we're installing all
yeah.
these
And the
now."
banners and the shops.
Yeah, everything really cater to
When I
tourists.
arrived, it was not a car world. It was a
Mhm.
right wide like this between the,
Yeah.
only for bikes.
Yep.
And if somebody was coming in front, you had to stop.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
So imagine Batu Belong had zero villa,
Yeah.
didn't exist.
So
Perrena and this area had not one villa existed, not one.
you've lived in Seminyak since you got here,
No, no,
or
I lived all over the place. I
oh,
actually
that's
lived
right, you
around
were in
here.
Ubud at one
I
point.
lived in Ubud. I lived in Seminyak. I lived in Denpasar. I lived in Canggu.
Hmm.
I like to move. I think it's great when you discover and you're going to stay long in an area to do 6 months or a year in different spots so that you really
Hmm.
get to know a bit and understand a bit more
Yeah.
everything. But And I lived in Tampak Siring, the mountains, really, for 2 years. It
Oh,
was
that was you said
where
that
the
was during
studio, yeah,
COVID.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Where the studio is.
Is
Top.
that on the that's on the North Shore?
No, no, no. 20 minutes from Ubud, north.
Uh huh.
That's where the very famous temple is.
With the monkeys?
There's monkeys there. There's like the 20 different waterfalls, and you have to
Mhm.
pray on each waterfall. Forgot the name of that temple.
Oh,
I'll
I
come back
gotta
to me.
check that out. That's one of the things I haven't done yet.
Yeah, it's a
Gone
beautiful
to the
temple.
Ubud water. The only waterfall I went to was Leaky Leaky, I think. I think that was the name of it. Yeah, it was last time I was here, but one of
Mm.
these days. So you lived in Ubud, Seminyak, you lived in Canggu, you
Yeah,
lived in the mountains north of Ubud.
yeah, yeah. Which was a super powerful experience. It's a very powerful village. Even every president of Indonesia owns land there. They always buy land there. It's
Yeah.
for the Balinese. It's like a line between Denpasar and Agung, the
Hmm.
mountain. So they say it's a very powerful Balinese energy village, very
Hmm.
special. and it's true. And I went to do Niepi there.
What's
Niepi.
that?
Okay, Niepi is the New Year's Eve of Balinese.
Hmm.
Balinese are in 1945 today in their calendar.
Okay.
And Nyepi is a very special date that I invite everyone to come to Bali or stay in Bali, because some people are scared of it and they go to Gilis and other
Mhm.
islands because there's 24-hour blackout.
Oh, that's right. I've heard of that.
Yeah, yeah. So
When is that?
it changes it because they have 13-month calendar. So it's not every month the same, right?
Oh.
That's why they are 1945 now, right? So last year was in March. I think next year might be in April or something. And so Nyepi is like this. The concept is they are gonna build these massive 3-4 meter long monsters made of like metal and paper that you
Oh,
wet and you
like
paint.
statues
Yeah,
that
these
they
big
like
statues. You
carry
see them.
around for like, yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So this
I
is the ceremony.
I was here in January to February of this year,
Oh, you
and then
saw
I
them
went
build
back
them.
home. But I saw them build them,
Yeah, yeah.
and I'm like, these things are crazy. I had no idea what it was for until I came back and T-Bird was telling me about it.
Yeah, yeah. It's a big thing, and their concept is that the bad energies, bad
Hmm.
spirits go into them. They carry them all the way to the beach and they burn them on the beach. Super dope. And they carry them, but they also have all the dancers, all the
Yeah.
musician, all the crazy stuff. And then it became kind of a contest. So in the big intersection, big street intersection, there's like a jury, and every banjar, which is every small town
Hmm.
within the big towns, like in Canggu, there's multiple banjar, right? Banjar is like the local mayor,
Hmm.
police, thing like that. They have competition between them and they do the biggest one, the most scary one. Now they start to put robots, like motors in them for the arms to move. So that,
Really?
yeah, super cool.
That's some.
And so that's the night before. It's the New Year's Eve party. They party all night. They drink all night. It's like fuck, the whole island's burning on
Hmm.
fire. And at 6 a.m. the next day until 6 a.m. 24 hours later,
Hmm.
they cut internet. They turn off the airport. They turn off every electricity street light there is in the island. You have to, if you want to put lights in your house, you need to close your lights with plastic bags, duct tape plastic bag on the windows, and all that stuff. All the
I heard it was
Yeah, yeah.
crazy.
All the hotels gives they give special Nyepi package. They call it like 2 nights, including all the meals, because they want the tourists to stay in a
Yeah.
comfortable space and have food. And people rush up the Pepito and they're just buying all this food because they kind of panic and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And then you have the most relaxing day of your entire life.
I believe it. Do they cut cell phone service too?
Depending, yeah, yeah, they do. No, they cut the internet of your cell phone, not the cell phone.
The data. So
Yeah, the
you can make
data.
phone calls, but you can't
If you
use.
have a local SIM card, you could still make a phone call, local phone call, but you don't have internet. If you have certain internet provider of Wi-Fi, don't cut, so
Mhm.
you could pay for it and find a way.
But majority of it is
Majority
just
is done.
like blackout. You
Yeah,
can't do. Can you use?
relaxed.
Is it like Amish where you could use candles?
Yeah, but I mean,
Okay.
technically, I don't, some people maybe do that. Most people have a closed living room and they have lights there. But the idea is to live like Balinese, which is
Mhm.
wake up when the sun rises and go to bed when the sun sets. It's really wonderful to do that, and just relax that day, be in silence. So some people, my family I used to go with them in their house, because I have this family in Bali,
Uh huh.
and some of us would practice the silence day because it's called a silence day. So we would actually be silent for 24 hours.
That actually sounds. Younger me would cringe at that.
Yeah,
That actually sounds really cool.
amazing.
That sounds
And you know
really
what's the
fucking
saddest part is
cool.
some people go to Gili and party. Gili's on fire for that
Yeah.
day because everybody's going there, which is
Yeah.
sad because you don't get to experience that anywhere else in the world.
Yeah.
And you can
Thank
get,
you for sharing that.
yeah, it's super
Because
cool.
if someone was just like, "Hey, next week they're cutting the power," I would probably be upset. But like because you explain the
Yeah.
background and why it's happening
Mm.
and the culture behind it.
And then the next day, at 6 a.m., wake up when you open again, go to the beach and look at the pure air because no pollution for 24 hours. With the wind, all the bikes, everything's gone, all the factories, everything's turned off. So even no planes over the island. So the air is pure, crystal clear.
I can only imagine
You
what
go
the
to the
stars look
beach.
like.
Yeah,
That
absolutely. And you know what? The most crazy part, look, my shivers. You can see the stars even in the middle of Denpasar. If you can find a rooftop, You can see this because if you go in the mountains and it's dark, it doesn't.
Full blackout on the island,
Yeah,
and it is just Balinese
just
or
Balinese.
just Balinese. Interesting. I learned recently that like all the different islands of Indonesia used to be independent,
Yeah,
and then like eventually they ended up getting together and they're like we're now Indonesian,
yeah.
and like even the language of Indonesian is like the conglomerate of like 100 different like, so that was really
Malay,
cool to
sixty
find out.
percent, 20% of English, some French.
Yeah,
Yeah. I love saying that. I just realized this because yesterday was the 80th years
yeah,
old
the
of
80th
Indonesia.
Independence Day of
Yeah,
Indonesia.
my grandma's 90, so this country is 10 years younger than my grandma. Just puts things in perspective for me. I didn't
Yeah,
realize what 80 years old is.
yeah.
That's a lot. Some people were born. Some Indonesians
Mhm.
are born before Indonesia existed, and now Indonesians. You know, how
Some
mind blowing is that?
when I first got here, I was confused at the double languages. You know, there's Bahasa and then there's Balinese, or
Yeah.
is Bahasa Balinese or Bahasa's Indonesian?
I mean, Bahasa means language. Bahasa
Mm.
Indonesia is Indonesian language. Bahasa
Mm.
Bali is Balinese.
Yeah, so I didn't. It confused me that there was two languages, like Terima Kasih and
And
Suksama. I
yeah,
think are the
there's
two
more
thank
than
yous.
that because there's three Balinese.
Oh my god!
Yeah, it's
And then someone was like, and I'm like, how do I know who speaks what? And they're like, well, if someone's younger and like in the more tourist areas, they speak Indonesian. And if like they're older and they like look like they haven't been on their phone in a while, they speak Balinese. So
yeah.
like that's how you know Terima Kasih versus Suksama.
Ah, okay, let me clarify that. 99% of people in Bali today
Mhm.
speak Bahasa Indonesia because everybody learned it
Yeah.
at school. That's the
Yes.
national. And the funny thing is, like Bahasa Bali is a very limited, small language.
I heard it was like
It's
not many words to
Yeah.
learn.
So, for example, as soon as they talk technical, like airport stuff, I don't know, any kind of things that are
Mhm.
complex, they have to switch to Bahasa because the words don't exist
Yeah.
in this language. So they all speak Bahasa. The only people that don't is very old
Hmm.
Bapa, we call them, like the very old people that live in the temples, and
Yeah.
and in this country it's rare to go above 80 years old, so even 60 or 70.
Yeah.
So what you can do though is if you see the Balinese ceremonial bracelet,
Ceremonial bracelet?
you
I
know
haven't
the
noticed it.
white and red
Uh huh.
bracelet that some Indonesians have here, and rice here, when you see them having that, or even just the Balinese costume,
Hmm.
ceremony, outfit, that means the Balinese. You can say suksuma to them, and it's
Ah.
cool to speak their language, and there's other words you can start learning.
Yeah.
Um, if they don't have anything else, they're probably from another island. Then they
Hmm.
speak Bahasa, Indonesia, and they
Gotcha.
do speak their own language too. Javanese speaks
Yeah.
Javanese. There's a Jakarta language. There's a Sundanese language.
It's
There's
crazy.
every island has their own
Yeah,
language.
because they were all independent,
Yeah,
their
I
own
think there's
thing.
400 or 500 languages in this country.
That's
Okay, and that's
wild.
where we can talk about something. There's a guy.
Okay.
His name is Sukarno,
Okay.
and he's the guy. Like, we are entrepreneurs and we're leaders, whatever. This guy decided to build a country
Hmm.
made of 17,000 islands with 400 or 500 different languages. And he said, you know what? I'm going to put all these people together. That is called a leader.
That is insane.
A very interesting thing that I discovered recently when I went to Jakarta,
Hmm.
there's big statues of him, and they call him the founding father of Indonesia. And it's true. Right? He built and he made this national language. He
Hmm.
shipped hundreds of thousands of TVs all over the country and some people would call it propaganda, but it's actually to unite and make people understand
Yeah.
we are one. And
Yeah.
and
Way of
and
connecting them.
yeah, you have to find a way, right? Radio, and you need
Yeah.
to, and if you take the Wikipedia of Sukarno in French,
Oh.
they call him dictator.
Dictator?
I think in American too. But if you
Probably,
look at the
man.
Indonesian version, they call him founding father, which
Yeah.
sounds very different.
Yeah.
It's mad.
History, something that changed my perspective on everything that I learned in school is I read somewhere history is written by the winner of wars. So it's not a matter of who was right. It's not a matter of who was like what the actual truth was.
Yeah,
If someone won the war, they write the history because the
man.
other person doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah,
So I read that. I was like, damn, like how much were we lied to about? How much are we being lied to about?
Yeah.
Um, that's crazy. So
Mm.
you came to Bali 9 years ago.
Mm.
You had family here prior
Yeah.
for 20 years. I
Yeah.
think
They
I
were
remember you
20 years
saying.
plus here.
Where were you before that?
I was traveling in America for a year.
In the United States?
Yeah.
Hmm.
And before that, I was in France.
So you started off in France, moved to America. What made? I know you said you have family in Bali, but what was the what was the thing where you're like, all right, I'm leaving the states and I'm going to Bali?
Well, but States was a limited thing. It was. I have an auntie in Boston, an uncle
Hmm.
in San Francisco, so I
Hmm.
wanted to cross the states. So I traveled a lot
Hmm.
before that travel, but mostly uh, development country. Like,
Hmm.
so I did a lot of Africa, a lot of North Africa,
Hmm.
and a lot of Europe and all that. But I never traveled in a country that's economically equal to France or like equal, like
Hmm.
developed. And I wanted to see how it feels like, and I wanted to discover. Like it's now like I'm in Southeast Asia. When I travel next time I travel to Asia, I'd like to go to Korea and Japan and
Hmm.
just to see how it's to see like this kind of branch of humanity, right?
Yeah.
Thailand is very closer to here, Malay, like all this stuff I
Hmm.
did already. It's great, but so I don't know. I had this call. A guy, I was buying a snowboard from a guy that was selling
Hmm.
his whole house, and he was moving to America. And I asked him, "What do you do for a living?" And he said, "I'm a professional fisherman." And I said, "So why are you moving to America?" And he said, "Because the rivers are clean." And that kind of blew my mind because European perspective of America is a very polluting country, which
Yeah.
is actually, yes, true and not true. It's a big but the pollution is in
Yeah.
China.
The
The
pollution's in China and in like the major cities, like
Yeah,
New York City.
the air is not.
Disgusting. You
Mm,
know, the air, the water. You don't want anything to do with it. But like mainland, a lot of the regular places,
yeah.
um, super clean, fresh
Mm-mm.
water. You know, salmon, trout fishing.
Yeah. I was so
It.
I wanted to see that, and I rented a van and I crossed
Mhm.
the country and I went to a lot of national parks and Grand Canyon. I started in Yeah, actually, I did Tennessee and New Orleans and all the
Mhm.
music areas, New York, jazz clubs in New York, all this stuff. Then I did Vegas,
Uh huh.
and I stayed in Vegas. I never went to a casino, never went to a club. All I did is going to Grand Canyon and Bryce Canyon and all these
Uh huh.
canyons around. And someone went to Yosemite and some other ones. Went down the side of the coast, not the coast of California, inland California.
Hmm.
There's these big tree national parks and all this stuff,
Hmm.
and then went to the beach in San Diego, and then did the coast of California, all the way to did LA and then San Francisco, and then I flew. But it was a 6 months travel thing, actually.
That's incredible.
Uh,
Most people wouldn't do that alone, let alone go from France to the States to Bali and live in a totally different country for 9 years. We're in tribal right now. There's a guy, Peter, who's been staying here for a few months, and he lived van life. He traveled to almost, I think he said like 41 out of the 50 states.
oh
So
yeah,
you guys would
yeah,
probably have a lot to talk about.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
the states wasn't a long term thing. So like you left France and you were like, I'm gonna go to the states, do this big road
And then
trip,
I'm going to
and then I'm
Bali.
gonna go to Bali.
Yeah,
So
and then
you,
I'm gonna go to Australia and work for the working visa thing.
what's up, brother? Who am I? Oh, how am I? I'm doing good, man. How are you? Um, so so you left France knowing that you were gonna go to the states, travel to Australia, do Africa in between. You said
No, no, Africa was before that.
before that.
Yeah.
So what was the decision that you made in France? Like what influenced that decision in France for you to be like Bali is my new home?
Oh wow, I never said Bali was my new home until I landed here. Never. And I came here with 1 month visa, not even the extension for the 2 months.
Yep.
And I was supposed to go to Australia. I was traveling with my girlfriend, and she didn't like it. I fell in love and felt home the day I landed.
Yeah.
It took me time to understand what was happening to me, but really, everything here is just super aligned with me. And
Yep.
yeah, I did a visa run, then a second visa run, then a third visa run, then did a 6 months visa, and after actually near, I found a job and it looked like I was just gonna start living here.
Hmm.
Something was
There's an energy.
there's something here
There's an
that was
energy.
asking me to stay, and I think that I was meeting a lot of entrepreneurs because, of course, that's
Hmm.
what Westerners do here, and I
Yep.
was discovering this whole world, and it was just asking me to do it. You know, it was like
Hmm.
everything they talk about is just resonating so much with me, and I was just actually,
Yep.
you know, the thing with music. I am a guy that my family had really no money.
Hmm.
Um, my mom still struggles today, and I'm gonna have to help her for her retirement for sure, and all this stuff.
Hmm.
And music was a bit of a thing where either I make it or at some point I find a normal job. And there was a bit of a I was seeing my friends that have a normal, you know, they studied
Hmm.
anything of normal thing and climbed the ladder in their corporate jobs or whatever, and they were
Hmm.
starting to make money, and I was still survival mode for all these years. I was
Yeah.
playing at an amazing life,
Hmm.
toured in Europe and everything, but it's not a life where you save money, right? It's you
Yeah.
live and that's it. And so when I started traveling and I started discovering entrepreneurship, things I started connecting the dots on how the world works,
Hmm.
and I went on this journey, and I transferred all my passion for music into the passion of creating value and jobs. You know,
Hmm.
my first employees, man, still work for me today. It's like a whole family of Balinese that I support.
Yeah.
Father, mother,
Hmm.
cousins, they all work for me, and it's still today.
That's such a beautiful thing,
Yeah,
man.
and I think that I had this transfer going on, and now then things went down a little bit. The excitement of because all these things, you know, I got used to it, having staff and stuff,
Hmm.
and now I'm collaborating in partnership. I'm doing partnerships with people to go bigger and scale and all this stuff. So now there's new phases of excitement coming in.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, entrepreneurship is an art,
Yeah.
you know.
That it is. It's an art. It's a journey.
Yeah, there's a lot of personal development in it. There's
Uh.
a lot of all these things that I like in music, right?
Hmm.
Actually, one day I'd like, if I write a book one day, it'll be about how music and entrepreneurship is similar and how music and life is similar. In life, there is harmony, there
Hmm.
is rhythm, there is connection and feelings and synchronicities and all these things, exactly like in music. You
Yeah.
could write something about it. And if you're a music producer, in life, everybody has an EQ, everybody has compression,
Yeah.
everybody has all these things and how we see the world and how we hear stuff and frequencies and everything is so connected, right?
Yep.
But it's something there. One day I'd like to write or talk about. If I keep on doing public speaking, maybe one day I'll talk about this kind of stuff. Yeah.
So the purpose of uh this podcast that we're doing is to kind of show it's to show men that they're not alone. You know, like that we all go through struggles. We've all dealt with some things. Some there's things that we're still dealing with. Is there any struggles along the way of your journey that you think sharing could help some of these men?
No. There's one that's very alive right now.
Hmm.
Very alive. Um, it. Um, yeah. Okay. There's two, but I'm going to talk about the one that really helped me and changed my life recently, and then the new. Because the thing is, when you heal and certain struggles, and you peel off the onion and you start healing from it, you discover that there's more layers, and this is it's
Hmm.
a. You're gonna like you need to know personal development is forever until we die.
Yeah,
That is it, and
it's
you're
a
gonna
journey.
just get to love the journey. You need to love the journey, and it's difficult moments, but you know that once you actually break these things down, you start
Hmm.
growing again, and
Yeah.
you start just. It's a bit like pain. When you're used to pain, at some point you just know, okay, it's gonna go away. Just give it 2 minutes. You don't need to
Hmm.
panic. Anyway, um, this is gonna be a bit deep. Um, my family suffered a lot from men.
Hmm.
Without going into too much detail, it's pretty easy to guess. My sister, my mother, even my father had sexual traumas and stuff like that done by men. And And I never had anything on me, but I suffered because my family was suffering. Because
Felt
of what
that.
happened, my family divorced, my father became alcoholic. It just broke my whole family down, and there's all these guilt and there's all these layers of pain and all this stuff. And me, I was just this young kid trying to help, um, and suffering from this. Suffered enough that social services picked me up one day. They thought I was a beaten child when I was a kid. I was skinny. And they thought I was a beaten child, but actually I was emotionally beaten child,
Yeah.
not because of my family, because of life. That, to make it in a nutshell and quick enough, I realized 6 months ago, a year ago, started healing and healed 6 months ago around December. Had a big workshop about that. I realized that I was putting walls between men. I have female friends a lot. I had always long relationships. I have 7 aunties, one of them being a big mentor for me. My life coach is a female. I worked with female. Today in my business, every manager and general manager and supervisor is a female.
Hmm.
I'm super comfortable with females.
Yeah.
I always, and I didn't realize this, but I was subconsciously pushing men away
Yeah.
because of the pain and the traumas and everything that they actually did on me with through my family. And what I'm so happy about is that sometimes maybe some guys around here can ask themselves, why should I do personal development? Why should I heal from this? Um, and recently, I'm a good example of why actually healing can not only make you feel better, but actually make your whole life level up in many areas. So I'm going to explain that. First, I became a wounded healer. I was healing women that had sexual trauma, trying to subconsciously heal my sister and my mother. Now, by healing my masculine and all my traumas, I'm starting to break this pattern. And this is a whole conversation we could have. But in terms of business, I started doing partnerships with men, starting to understand that there's bad and evil in men and female and everywhere, and that doesn't matter because we need to be the light and we need to connect with the right people and we're gonna do good and we're gonna push the, you know. And really, I didn't know that. I really didn't know. I didn't have so much men friends and uh, like a brotherhood, like close men friend, and now I start to have that, and now I'm starting to do business with men,
Hmm.
and actually everything's blowing up because we are made to do business together. You know,
Yeah.
that's what Gil did in all the networking events and workshops. Like solopreneur is just not the way. You know? You
No.
need to collaborate. You need to be with people. There's so much power in that. You know. So really, like I didn't know, and I did this amazing workshop called Family Constellation. You know that?
You mentioned it a couple times. I don't know anything about it. Can you tell me?
Yeah, family constellation. It's a bit of a weird one.
Hmm.
It's really your subconscious that's going to talk because you're going to be in a room with maybe 10, 20 people and you're going to choose who is your younger self. And you need to choose randomly without starting to think. You need your body to communicate to you and point a finger. And it's a very weird thing and hard thing for me to do, for example, because I start thinking who looks like I
Yeah.
start thinking, and you should not think. It's a
It's an energy
subconscious thing.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you do that, and then you point to someone that's going to be you in 20 or 30 years or something,
Hmm.
and you ask them. And this is in a nutshell, and there's way more depth to all this and different ways to do it and all that stuff. But for example, you could ask them to just be,
Hmm.
and the kid, your kid, is going to start doing something, and your older self is going to start doing something. Look in the direction, and the facilitator is going to ask you to go behind and maybe put your hands on the shoulder of you, kid, and see how it feels. And something, bro, and I don't understand why. Okay, don't ask me. There's a magical. It's like in the Brotherhood, there's this container power
Yeah.
that starts happening, and subconscious starts talking and everything. and you start downloading things, and the guy sees it and he can read you. And in a nutshell, we went through different phases of exercises like this, and at some point, he asked me to do this super hard thing for me to do,
Mhm.
to go and see every man in the room and ask for help. He said, "This is what you need to do right now." And then he had me ask my ancestors for help. So he had me sitting on a chair in front of everyone and imagining their grandfathers and their grandfathers, especially men, in my case, right? It's not, this
Yeah.
is for me. Everybody has their own process, right? My process was to ask my father, my grandfather, my grandfathers, and all of them to support me in my life. And I'm talking about this now easily. Bro, at that moment, my throat,
I can
my
only imagine.
everything was tight. I couldn't speak it out. It was too hard, you know? Ask for help from a man that destroyed my family. Fuck that, man. You know? So there's different workshops you can do about all these things, and I really invite people to do it because it's not something you can just men do that, right?
Mhm.
I'm gonna go through this stuff. I'm gonna fight this
Yeah.
stuff, the
Keep it bottled
pain.
in.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to
Yeah.
the gym and just forget about it. Bro, be vulnerable. Go to this workshop, open up, work on it, drop it, and you will see the amount of light and positive things you start attracting in your life from all these workshops is absolutely massive. And really, frankly, I didn't know that that would happen. I know about healing certain things, and I did a bit of healing and stuff, but I didn't know. You know, some peels of the onions are bigger than others. That was
Yeah.
a that was a deep one, man. It was like a big thing
Yeah.
took out of my body and I dropped. And there's still a way to go, but no, I'm printing a photo of my grandfather and my father, and I'm putting it in my living room, and I'm just accepting that I'm a man, and that men's are amazing.
Hmm.
Um, and that is a massive one for me. Like, and now I'm discovering, and now I'm gonna have to rebalance this. That's why this weekend I'm gonna go to a big workshop to balance that. But now I was so connected to female. Now I'm like trying to be celibate, and I don't want to. They are females are disturbing my life. I'm realizing that I need to fix that because right now I know I love men. And I'm not gay, but I'm
Yeah.
telling you, I love men a lot. And I body brotherhood. I look at us, like 25 men or whatever, and I look at the beach club we're in when we do this circle, and I feel like we could run the place, bro. We could build the
Yeah.
place, man. We could like do all this system and all this stuff. But as
Yeah.
soon as a female walk in the room, all the energy starts crimping out. Ah! And this is basically actually it's different layers of healing things that I did. But today, where I feel that what's very much alive is that right now
Hmm.
my struggle. So 2 months ago, I stopped smoking, I stopped drinking, I became completely sober, and I'm so happy. This is the biggest life hack I've ever been through. Um, and are they dropping from the roof? It's possible. Sometimes it happens.
I don't know, man. I've never had so many ants and just whatever the fuck crawl on me before. Weird. I'm gonna take it as a good sign. Like maybe like
Yeah,
I got
nature stuff.
some like healthy fucking pheromones or something going on, and they're like, this is the healthy dude we should go after.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I think I do have. I need to rebalance that right now because what's very alive right now for me is that it's so easy to stop smoking and smoke and drinking and all this stuff.
Mhm.
But sex is a terrible addiction,
Mhm.
and it's a natural addiction, right? It's in our system.
Mhm. Yeah.
And if you don't mind, actually, what's it's very alive right now. Sexual addiction is something I'd like to talk about
Yeah.
because it's been. Sometimes I talk about sexual addiction and people laugh. They don't understand. So
Mhm.
maybe I'd like to share this because maybe somebody there could be like feeling alone in that regards because I didn't. I just want to share how I became sexually addicted, and I think that's gonna open the eyes of how it can happen.
Mhm.
I attracted I actually worked with my life coach about the way I attract girls that are broken, sexually abused, and all this stuff, and I healed them, and I worked on that, and then I went with this girl. I had no sexual trauma, had a beautiful 3 year long relationship, but for some reason we broke up, and I went directly with the most destroyed girl I never met. Meth addict, fucking crazy, all the sex parties, extremely hot, fully tattooed, dark as fuck, crazy girl, best sex in my life. Very fusional, which is actually a very toxic thing at the beginning of a relationship to have that much sex. And COVID hit, and we started to struggle with cash. Um, and at some point, she paid the rent. We started moving together, and at some point, she paid the rent. And I asked her, "Where did you get the money to pay the rent?" And then she said, "I have an OnlyFans." I looked at her and I looked at our sexuality. That was the best sexuality I never had in my life. I mean, the best. Very performative and very crazy and all very toxic and all this stuff. Very
Yeah.
dominant and BDSM and all this crazy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it was fantastic. I was discovering really my kinks.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, to go to deep dive. The first night with her, I couldn't be hard. I couldn't have an erection because I was too impressed by the beauty and stressed about it. And she asked me to whip her with some toys she had and all this stuff. And I that was it. And it's something that I discovered my kink that day, and all my
Mm-hmm.
sexuality blew up from that day. Um, Turns out OnlyFans paid the rent, and turns out I was like, you know what? It's COVID. I tried a bunch of things. I didn't know what to do. Um, Maybe I'll do. Let's do OnlyFans together. So we started doing an OnlyFans together. I was on Reddit marketing her OnlyFans. I'm a professional drummer, and she was a guitarist. So I was posting super intellectual musical question on Reddit, but with this super sexy account. And all these musicians would like reply. My Reddit post would go up, and then some people would click on my profile and see this super hot girl, and they would like, "I want to talk to you," and you had to pay my OnlyFans to talk to me. Where my sexual addiction, sex life blew up another level, and this is the point, guys. The spiral of sexuality is an infinite loop down. You need always more hard, more deep, more crazy in front of people. It's a spiral loop. It's not a healthy. It's a downward spiral in life. That started that day because I started my biggest kinks in life. I wanted to, for example, duct tape my girlfriend against the wall. I had this kink. What I would do on Reddit, I would find a guy and manipulate him in finding a way to ask him. I wanted him to be ready to pay to see me. I'm the girl, right? I'm Reddit, right?
Yeah.
To see my girlfriend duct tape on the wall and having sex with a guy, and he would pay 500 US to see that.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to see my girlfriend. Hey, someone wants to do that. Actually, it's me that wanted to do that. But every Tuesday night we had our recording sessions, and actually that's a good life hack. I think if you have a girlfriend, you should have a date night and a sex night every day, like 1 week, 1 day of the week minimum. Us was Tuesday night. We would go on a date. I would buy these amazing outfits of things to break and all this stuff and all these stories and all this stuff and sometimes if things she didn't want to do, I would find a way that a guy would pay like a lot of money. So then she would say, "Of course, let's do it." We would record all this stuff, and we had this incredible sexuality. And then she died from cancer. And that's where you don't know what life can bring you. Somewhere it's crazy, but basically, I went home to France, healed for 4 months and a half in Europe. Came back. I was not into finding other girls yet, but as soon as that kind of natural thing kicked in, after 6 months, 9 months, I was like starting date again. I was looking for our sexuality with
Yeah.
girls, right?
That high.
Yeah, that high. That was way too high for any girl to do that on the first night,
Yeah.
except the craziest girls. What happens when you hang out with all these crazy people, bro? Your
Yep.
life goes down. You start doing drugs and giving them drugs. You start like looking for girls that are taking ecstasy in clubs, because and you start being in a world, and you that high, man. I would shake if I didn't have it for long. When I would get horny, I would feel I need to. It was I would my life would get. You don't understand. Like people would think, oh, sexual. These guys just have a lots of sex. No, I would go 6 hours in a club just for sex and ruin the next day and the day after.
Mhm.
And I would do that multiple times. And I would hang out with and be with girls that would just drain me. And once I fucked them, I would just want them to leave. The level of darkness and toxicity
Mhm.
with my relationship with female was so high, man. It's like heroin. I think
Yeah.
it's terrible, man. And I know some guys suffer with this, and I didn't understand what sexual addiction was. I was like, haha, you just have a lot of sex. Good for you. No, 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 no. Bro,
Mhm.
it's a, it's a horrible drug. So, yeah, I think that's how I became a sex addict, is when my girlfriend died. It's just, you would never see that coming, but it's actually possible, you know?
Yeah.
It's actually possible.
Went from those crazy highs consistently to basically nothing, like just withdrawals.
Yeah.
First of all, thank you for sharing all of that. Do you mind if I ask you some questions?
Yeah, man. I'm a very open book. You can go for it.
You seem much more healed in your relationship with men than when you said you originally were because of the sexual trauma that your family went through.
Mm-mm.
And you said that the family constellation work was a big part of that. For because I've been speaking to a lot of guys that have gone through that kind of things themselves. What would you recommend to those guys? Like the family constellation thing, maybe this is just my thoughts. I feel like that's like a Bali thing, and like maybe not as available around the world.
Yeah.
Is there anything
Ah.
else that's helped you, or any
Yeah.
recommendations you can make for the guy at home that either might be going through the same thing as you, where it didn't happen to him, but it happened to loved ones, and that his empathy brought it on him, or it happened to them themselves?
Yeah. Actually, the biggest one is called core energetics, CORE, like the core
Uh,
energetics. It's an amazing workshop that works on every layer of your being, which is how you grew up. Because from 0 to 7 is how your body will be shaped. It's not your DNA that shapes your body; it's actually your upbringing. Um, your spirituality levels, your energetical levels. This guy just is incredible. Actually, if you want to come, next this week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, he's doing a mini free workshop of an hour at 6 p.m. in Umalas. I always try to bring people there, and then if you like it and you want to do it in the weekend, you can do a full day with him.
mhm.
And that is my. I've been doing it for 5 years now. He comes 4 times to Bali. He's from Australia, and every time he comes to Bali, I find a way to break, like to make the space, the time, and I just do it. There's no, I need to do this thing. That's for me one of the biggest one. Family constellation is very similar to what he does. And then, I mean, for me, these two are the biggest ones of all. But I think I mean, from that healing and from these messages I got and realization that I had this trauma, because I didn't realize I had them. But if you do realize that you have them, um, joining entrepreneurship groups and or Christian groups or body brotherhood, like brotherhoods, like men's circles, and having coffee and literally, if you can, and I know it's fucking hard, but if you can ask for help,
Yeah,
you know, ask literally openly like a book. Go for say like, can we hang out? I just need to hear your story because you look like a positive image to me, and I'd like to like spend a bit of time with you. You know, and you know what? When you say that, you're actually giving a gift to them. If somebody asks me that, how I feel that day
yeah,
and how I feel happy, talking, it's a gift. By asking for help, you're actually allowing someone to help for that feel amazing. So I wish there was more of that between men. I think men struggle a little bit with asking for help and all this stuff, right? So yeah, these workshops. The thing is, I believe that everybody has their own. Depending where you are and how you resonate with things. Maybe what I did is not good for you, but what I encourage people is to just try. Go to workshops, try
Yeah.
hypnotherapy, life coaching, try all these things. Just on a daily basis, commit to like, okay, this Monday I'm gonna try. This week I'm gonna try this guy. Try it. It maybe doesn't work. You're not gonna lose anything. And at some point along the way, you're gonna
Something will
find the
click.
right things for you, and then you try to do a program, like a 10 weeks program, or like a
Yeah.
6 months, whatever it is, and you go on this journey because it is not easy to be a man,
Yeah.
and we have our struggles, right?
Thank you for sharing that, man.
Yeah,
And especially the finding brotherhood, finding community one, because the core energetics and the family constellation one.
yeah,
I know you said those were the two most impactful. It might be hard for someone watching in like New York or Europe to
yeah,
be able to get that, but almost anyone can find a man they admire and ask to go for coffee,
yeah,
or find some sort of community somewhere that they can open up to.
yeah.
Um,
And it takes time. Honestly, it's not the first guy you meet. It's not the second. It's not the third. Maybe
yeah.
I joined the Bali United Founders. It's like just this community of entrepreneurs in Bali, and I was doing this healing on the side, and I just decided to join this community. Like you could join a men's circle and
Mhm.
just DM random. Some of them maybe people are in the same industry, or some people that feel like what they shared or something they do resonates, that you could have like a conversation about,
Mhm.
and DM them and just ask to have a coffee.
Yeah.
Just that. And the first one I met when I did that, super cool dude, but not, it didn't inspire me much. A
Yeah.
little bit, it made me realize things. This guy is like 20 years older than me,
Mhm.
not in a good shape, and his business is actually a bit boring, and it was not, wow, it's not inspiring for me. But I met with them older men, and it felt great. See that this
Yeah.
guy, has his struggles, has his things with his wives, has his kids, has his business,
He's
and
human.
and he's a human, yeah.
Yeah.
And he has his ups, and he had his down, he has stuff, and
Yeah.
just felt right. And I did it once because it was not incredible, but I'm
Yeah.
happy I did this one. Then I did a second one. And second was a bit better. It was
Mhm.
cool. We did maybe 3 coffees, but at some point life just made us separate, right? So you need to
Yeah.
accept that you're gonna friendship and unfriendship.
Yeah.
There's things you need to be super happy with that. And then down the line, there was some people that was more like a 10 weeks things, and it was and they really helped me um, fix some of my business systems because we were actually aligned on business, and or help me in my relationship with women, and yeah. And then there was Christianity and Pastor Don. I'm having coffee with Pastor Don every second week. Having a coffee with a pastor is a fucking wonderful thing.
Yeah.
Pastors are amazing, especially our pastor, because he's the first guy. He goes on stage and he says, "I don't like religions." I think that's you need to say that to me for me to do.
Is he the one with glasses?
Yeah,
Oh my god, man, that dude
what a
deserves a
guy,
TV show.
bro. This guy, yeah,
He is so entertaining. He
yeah,
was one of my favorite parts of that experience.
yeah, yeah. He's a incredible guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a new age guy. He used to smoke pot and do magic mushrooms when he was young,
Yeah.
and he just discovered that. And my vision of Christianity is really this thing where you just use it as a tool. The
Yeah.
book is just a tool. It doesn't faith. We could talk 3 hours about faith. Faith is this wide thing where you don't need to believe in everything in the story of Jesus and la la la. You just need to
Yeah.
understand the messages of
Yeah.
what it means and la la la. And Pastor Don is amazing for that.
Hmm.
And me, I told him every time I don't agree with anything he says, I just call him. Actually, I will this week because he said something about so he played techno in the club this week. We
Hmm.
had DJ playing,
Yeah.
and he said something about it's great techno in church, but maybe techno in some clubs is a bit too dark, and maybe you should avoid being in these places. I strongly disagree.
Okay.
I strongly agree that I would agree with someone that says when you go in these places, if you feel the energy is dark and the music is the lyrics and the people, everything's too dark, be the light, bring righteousness,
Hmm.
be this guy and enjoy dance and dance for God. Don't dance to impress your neighbor.
Yeah.
Don't spend money to impress. Don't be in that energy.
Hmm.
Be with God, even in a nightclub.
Yeah.
You know, be righteous, be a good guy. You see someone struggle, you help them. You see somebody throwing out, you help them. You see a girl maybe in danger or there's a bit too much guy, you go check in. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Be that righteous, bright light even in the darkest places. So yes, go in the darkest places because you can be the light. You need the dark to shine, right? So I don't agree with what he said.
That's
I'm going to
dope.
have a coffee with him and I'm going
Yeah.
to explain that to him, and we're going to go back and forth, and maybe next
Uh-huh.
week he'll say something a bit differently. That's what I love about Pastor Don.
Yeah.
He's like learning every week.
Yeah. That's so
I
fucking
love this guy,
cool.
man.
That's so cool, man.
Yeah,
Thank you for being so open and honest about everything, and really opening up and talking about some deep stuff.
yeah.
When you first started, you said you hope you can go deep, and that we accept that here.
Yeah, it's
We
great.
accept that. We embrace that. We want more of that. Finish the water. I'm gonna grab us some more water and order an espresso. You good to keep going?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Cool.
Definitely. Are you ordering another coffee? Maybe I can do. Gee, this is great. Are you doing a double?
I'm doing a double espresso. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. So it's not too much caffeine. It's great.
Want
Can
me
I
to
have
order you
one
one?
too? Yeah, thank you.
Cool. Nothing gets edited, so if you were talking shit about me, it's gonna be on camera.
But isn't that gonna overheat?
No,
No.
my phone hasn't gone on fire yet. Actually, you know what? That's a good point. The way things have been going, every time I record, there's a new thing going on. No, we're good, baby. We still recording. Phone's hot, but not too hot. We're good. Ugh. So, espressos are on the way. You talked
Amazing.
about sexual addiction, and that's something that hits home for me. I I definitely haven't put as much thought into it as with you. Um, but yeah, I was definitely down that rabbit hole. I spent a long time in my life chasing women to the point where, like you said, it affected the following days. I'd be up till, there were sometimes I was up till 2, 3, 4 in the morning, just firing messages off on Tinder, trying to find like pussy for that night.
And if you listen to your body in that moment, man, you're
Yeah.
not in a good space.
No, no, man. Part of like sexual communities and stuff. I had a sex podcast at one point,
Hmm.
um, which I don't know if I regret the podcast necessarily because my thought process for the podcast was like I never I never had like the birds and the bees talk growing up. Like I didn't know anything about anything. So my idea of the podcast, I feel like where I go in life is like I constantly look back and I'm like, what did younger me need? And like younger me needed to hear women's perspectives on things. So like a lot of the podcast was finding out like what women thought about certain things. You can come on, yeah, yeah. Prima que sí, Della.
Thank
Um,
you.
but yeah, I was definitely involved in that. It definitely affected a lot of my life, a lot of my relationships. There were um, there were times where good friendships couldn't be great friendships because like I would want sex, and there would be times where like probably great women wanted to be a part of my life, and they're like, "Can we be friends?" And I'm like, no, I don't want friends. Like I want to fuck, or I don't want you in my life. So there's definitely been times where I've missed out on a lot. Um, yeah.
And also the men, because they disturb even friendships between men too.
Can you clarify that?
Well, it's not,
Oh,
you know,
like your drive to sleep with women disturbs friendships with men?
yeah, because there's
Yeah.
jealousy, because there's thing,
Yep.
because there's. I just lost a friend recently. It's a very weird situation. Still don't understand it. I need to have a call, talk, but it's hard to have a talk with them. But basically, his girlfriend looked exactly like my ex that passed. And when I
Mm-hmm.
came back from France and I spent time with her, took a tab of acid. She had some too, and we hugged a lot and all this stuff. And I had massive feeling that it was her when if I close my eyes,
Yeah.
the body shape, everything is the same. And I just left the party. I left and went home because I was scared of doing something wrong for their relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And turns out they became very jealous and everything. And she said, I shared to her at some point. I said, "This is how I felt. I felt extremely attracted to you that day. That's why I left." And I was hoping she would be conscious enough to say, "Oh wow, okay, sorry for that," and stuff. And normal
Yeah.
mature community. Turns out she went to tell to him, but in a way that he became jealous to me, and then just everything fell down. I'm very sad about it, but
Yeah. And I'm sure because men don't really share emotions or what's going on in their life a lot of the times.
yeah,
I'm sure he didn't really understand what was going through your head. It was just like, damn, Clint said my girlfriend is attractive. He wants my girlfriend. Like,
not realizing I'm suffering inside,
yeah,
suffering. And then she looked exactly like my ex, except very no tattoo, very angely looking.
yeah,
My ex was tattooed to here, which felt like she was an angel coming down. It was just, the
yeah,
acid, you know.
yeah,
But anyway, it was just, I think, yeah. So, in terms of relationship with women today, recently in Terra, I met an incredible woman.
yeah,
And I'm not sexually attracted, but I'm intellectually extremely in love. Like I don't know if I'm in love. I'm there. I'm like very close to like saying, like, spiritually, business wise, socially,
yeah,
networking wise, every level of the way we are together intellectually
yeah.
is is never. I'm so grateful she's in my life because I think it's doing a lot of healing towards my relationship to women because yeah, when when I was talking about the dark side of my sexuality when I was an addict, I was attracting women that I don't respect, man.
Yeah. Yep.
I have a reel to share. It's disgusting what I'm gonna say, but it's how I felt at some point, and I'm healing that slowly. I don't have sex with men. I don't fuck men, not because I'm not gay, but because I respect them. That means I don't respect the women I have sex with.
You didn't, or you.
I mean,
I'm
that's how I
trying to
was.
wrap my head. So if you have sex with a woman now, it means you don't respect
Yeah,
her, or you're saying,
yeah. I mean, now I'm not
it
there
just.
anymore, but that's how I was
But that's how you
at
were
my peak,
thinking.
at my
Like if.
peak of dark sexuality. A
Mhm,
woman that I'm gonna be able to like spit on its face, slap it,
mhm.
fucking
Yeah.
flip all over the room, and all this, you know,
Yep.
tie up and all this shit. Is a girl that I actually inside me feel so dominant, and she's my slave.
Yeah.
But that's not respect, right? Doesn't mean you can't have a crazy sexuality sometimes with a partner that you love and respect. But the way I was in was not
Yep.
that. And now
Yeah.
I'm meeting these amazing women, actually mostly Americans these days, where I connect intellectually and culturally too.
That's crazy
I
because
know.
I think back to the women in America, and not there. There's definitely some like you're describing, but a lot of them are not. Not out. I'm gonna stay nice things. I'm listening.
So she's American, but she had a big trauma with her ex. She went to live in ashram in India, went
Mhm,
through all the ashram thing, and now is very conscious and doing a lot of spiritual work. And
mhm.
the level of understanding she has about the situation is she doesn't identify as an American anyway. I don't think you do
Yeah.
anymore so much, right? Like I don't identify as French anymore, um, because at some point you get out of these boxes, right?
Yeah.
Uh, but she's helping me a lot to realize I'd like to find someone I feel equal to in my life. You know, when is that gonna happen, man? I don't know. But
Oh, it's gonna happen, man.
it's gonna happen,
You're
right?
evolving. You're meeting people. You're doing
Exactly.
beautiful things. You're accepting your flaws. You're working through traumas. You're
It's coming, right?
you.
Everything's coming, man. I
The
know, I feel it.
second you let that go, and you're like, I desire it, but it's not something that I'm gonna, I'm gonna go to this place just to do it. It's gonna happen without you realizing
Yeah.
it. And
But
if not, I got a great exercise book that I did maybe like a year and a half, 2 years ago. It's called something like Manifestations 369, and it's a really interesting book. And the way it works is uh, in the morning. So you envision what you want, okay, whatever it is, money, beautiful wife that you respect, that's on the same level as you, that's loyal and trustworthy, and you flow together, the masculine and the feminine, whatever it is, and you write, I am grateful for blank. And in the morning, you write it 3 times. And then I think you might say it out loud. It's been a while since I had the book. And then around lunchtime, you write it 6 times. And then right before you go to bed, you write it 9 times. And you do that every day for, I think it's like 90 days. And it's ironic that this is coming up right now because uh, in my book, it my that what I wrote changed over the course of like the first like 20, 30 days. At first I was like, I want a beautiful, I don't remember the exact thing. It was like a sexy, fun wife. And then I was like, I want a loyal, beautiful wife. And then I was like, I want a beautiful, peaceful, loyal wife. And like, I don't remember what the exact end thing that I ended up writing for majority of the book towards the end. But I'm dating a girl that checks those boxes right now, man. And that was
nice.
like, it was like a year and a half ago that I was doing those exercises, and like there's no fucking way I would have planned it. It's not like I'm gonna, all right, I'm gonna go to Bali for a month, decide to leave my family marketing agency, then come back to Bali, and then I'm gonna find this girl. It was just, I decided I wanted it. I wrote it in the journal, gave it to the universe without, it's not like I knew what I was doing. It fucking came. So I'm confident it's gonna happen.
Yeah,
You put your desire out there, you do what you're doing.
yeah. I know. I'm so grateful for this connection with this guy. I don't know how it's gonna go because I'm not used to. Sorry to say that, but I'm used to. I've been with a lot of Asian the last few years, and I'm used to body type that's more small,
Mm-hmm.
and she's not like that. But so I don't know if there's anything's gonna happen, but for sure, I'm so grateful because she's sharpening my level of communication, but at every level, right, with the
Yeah,
female, and it's making me,
on a respect level.
yeah, and
Yeah.
the way we, I want that standard of that's a complicité of when we go to where even like, so we did this meeting yesterday with our mentee group of Terra, and she throws little sentences, and with a blink, nobody in the room understands except me what she just said because he has a message with a conversation we had before. The level of
Yeah.
it's so wonderful, man. You
That's
know,
so awesome.
and we
I'm
go,
happy for you, brother.
yeah,
Whether it turns into something romantic or it's just, a lesson and something
yeah,
you integrate moving forward, sounds like it's good for you.
yeah, man. Hard to find someone that lives in all the dimensions I live in, but she's in there,
Yeah.
you know, and yeah, it feels great. They exist, right? We need to believe in it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try this thing. Actually, the workshop she led Saturday morning was about time management, and
Mm-hmm.
she said you need to schedule me time in the thing. Me time is not watching a movie. Me time is not going to a party. Even this is not me time
Mm-hmm.
because this I gain so much from this moment with you, but
Mm-hmm.
it also drains some energy from it because it's sort
Yeah.
of focus and all this stuff. So me time is journaling, for example. That's a great me time. Something
Yeah.
I never did in my life. So right now, with you saying all these things, and I met another guy Saturday night that talked to me about journaling and all that, and feels like it's probably gonna be a
Have you done journaling?
no, never.
Can I share some things
Yeah,
that
hundred
have helped
percent.
me out tremendously? So this is my journal,
Yeah.
and I've gone through many phases of what I do. Some,
So you put dates, and that's what you wrote in the day.
yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, One of my favorite things that my coach T Bird has shown me.
Yeah, T-Bird
Uh,
mentioned you work with her. Okay, that's great.
yeah,
I have a meeting with her
it
tomorrow
was the best decision I ever had,
to work with
ever
her.
made to work with her, ever. One of the things Shazmi does that works really well for me because I'm very, and like many entrepreneurs, very like, okay, I got this done. What's next? Get that done. What's next? What's next? What's next? And like, no matter how much I do, I never feel like it's enough. And there's always more to do. So one of the things that um, she has me do is write love letters to myself,
Mm.
like as if I'm like, my own older brother giving myself praise that I never normally give myself. Because normally, like, I, so like yesterday was a big day for me. I held a group similar to Bali Brotherhood for men and women. Um, and it was amazing. So like, and uh, I ended up having a big one of the challenges that I'm working through right now is with money. Accepting money. Um,
Me too.
yeah. So if you want, I'll read you the love letter I wrote to myself this morning. Maybe
Please.
cool,
That's so cool.
bro. I'm smiling right now, looking back on August 17th, 2025. Your first Let's Be Real event at Loco Cafe and Events. You showed up as your full self, completely present, aware, and enjoying every moment. You supported the staff with your kind words and business that translated into tips for them. You supported Olga with immediate income, brand awareness, and Google reviews to drive more long term growth. Most of all, you supported her mission of building community. You created and held space where 20 people could open up, could feel seen, heard, and understood. A space where some felt safe enough to cry, a space where a group hug is welcomed and embraced, a space where new leaders are embraced. And you fucking owned it. You addressed the elephant in the room, loneliness. You help people understand that it's felt by many and they're not truly alone. That was only the first half of the day. On the second half of August 17th, 2025, you took Asa out on your first date together. You gave her your undivided attention. You hesitated on buying the higher priced items like steak and wine. A younger you might have let that fear stop you. Not this time. You embraced it. You allowed yourself to enjoy some luxury in life. You allowed the staff to serve you fully, cleaning plates, pouring wine, and adjusting things on the table. You spent the most money you ever had on a date, and it was worth every rupiah. It was a beautiful date by the water with a woman you love and a breakthrough moment in your relationship with money. Keep crushing it, brother. Love, Tony.
Wow. This is
Doing that
so
exercise,
cool.
man, has been one of the most powerful things I've ever done. Um, I'll keep sharing a couple other ones
Yeah.
if you want. Yeah.
But
Uh,
I just before these days, I've been extremely proud of myself in certain events. Showing up. When I left Bali Brotherhood Saturday, I cried of happiness on the way home. And I went to this workshop for time management, and then at night I went to play a jam,
uh-huh.
and every everywhere I show up, because I'm sober and because I'm very proud of my success these last few months. I'm humble. I'm I'm listening to people so much. I'm like holding space every time someone talks to me.
Present.
Everything's there, Yeah, very present, and yeah, so many levels like that where I'm very proud of myself. And actually, I need to do what you're doing
It's really good, man.
because there's gonna be a moment maybe things go a bit down, back up. Life is like that,
I can
right?
show you what I do in those moments
Yeah,
too.
please. Yeah, let's do that. Because of course there's highs and lows, right?
So, all right, let's see. What have I done in those moments? Cool. So this is a lot of names that are personal. Yeah, for the sake of this being on the podcast, I'm not going to say that one. Or you know what? There was one I did the other day that I'm going to let you read, and I'll explain the exercise. So it's called "I'm Feeling," and then why I'm grateful for it. So when I wrote this, I was ready to explode, man. There was just, it's not like looking back as I reflect on it, it was not a crazy amount of things going on. Or it wasn't like, it's not like nothing traumatic was happening in my life, but I was very overwhelmed. There are things that I wanted to do with the business and like very small things that just, when you get in those moments where you're like, I don't know about you, but like I had anger problems growing up, and like it was one of those moments where I wanted to punch like a something that can't move or hit back, and that's typically, I mean, it's not good to punch anything, but hurt my hand doing that shit. So I didn't want to do that. So the exercise is I'm feeling, and what I did is, the emotion wheel.
Yeah.
So I had the emotion wheel in front of me,
Okay.
and I'm looking at it, and I'm figuring out exactly
Which one?
what I feel. I feel like shit is not an
That's not an
emotion.
emotion. Yeah.
So I'm feeling. I wrote down everything that I'm feeling, and then I went back after I wrote it and why I'm grateful for it, for every one of those situations. So I'll give you a minute if you want to read that.
I'm feeling frustrated that I can't use my downstairs.
If you could wait,
Oh,
if you don't say it out loud, so
Oh,
because
yeah.
otherwise it's going to be on camera,
Oh yeah.
just for you to read.
Okay. That's funny. It's very Alain. The why I'm grateful for it, it just makes it so
Yeah,
crazy.
because I'm like, I don't want to just
Negative.
write like I'm feeling all these shitty fucking emotions and then just leave it. I'm like, T-Bird talks about aikidoing things. Like, how do you aikido? You know aikido, the martial art. Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you aikido it?
That's funny. I did why I stopped smoking and drinking and everything is and literally blew up right now is because of an Aikido system. I did a mushroom bad trip
Mhm.
and I decided it will become a good trip. And I wanted to stop. I want to go walking. I want to be successful. I'm feeling like my bad trip is all about me, how unsuccessful I am, or something like that. It's like a spiral. And then I just
Fuck
took it.
that.
I did a huge
Yeah.
aikido. I never smoked a cigarette again. Never had a drink of alcohol again. Never touching anything anymore. Bomb.
That's awesome.
Everybody's like, so it's not a bad trip. I'm like, it was a bad trip, but it just became this amazing
Yeah.
life good trip. Yeah. Well, I'm grateful for it. Aikido. That's so cool.
There's a few other ones, but those are the only other one. I feel like along your spiritual journey, you've leaned into manifestation.
Mhm.
So the woman I'm dating now, her name is Asa. She's a manifestation coach. She helped me tweak um, how I went about it. So I studied a little bit of manifestation about a couple things from like a couple different sources. I tried out different things,
Yeah.
and one of the things that she taught me was to one of the things that I learned was to be grateful for it as if it's happening.
Yeah.
What she taught me was be grateful for it as if it's already happened. So every
Okay.
morning, I call it my intentions. Uh, where I said, "Oh, did I not do it for today? Oh, I never set my intentions for today. I got wrapped up in some stuff." And the idea is you decide how today's going to go, and then you write how you're grateful for all the things that happened
Wow.
as if they've happened. So, like,
Daily.
yeah, so like every morning, except this morning, ironically, um, I write my intentions. So 3 to 5 things. So like yesterday's was I'm grateful I met all challenges today with love. I'm grateful I asked myself positive reinforcing questions like why is money unlimited? Why do men need me? And why is money on its way to me? I'm grateful I showed up and remained present today. So like there's different things.
Should it not be why do I have so much money instead of why money isn't money on its way? Why is money already there? Why is there so much money?
It could have been any of them, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But the idea is like the reason I wrote answering those questions is because like it's like framing. So like if I just tell myself like money is on its way, the next thought could be like, is it really on its way? Like second guess it. But if the question is why is money on its way, I'm thinking like, oh, money is on its way because I'm self-developing. Money is on its way because I'm giving value. Money is on its way because and it makes you list all of these reasons. Like same thing with why do men need me? I could say, do men need me? And now I'm allowing negativity to come into play. Like, do men really need me? Or I could say, why do men need me? Well, men need me because I'm creating safe space. Men need me because I have gone through struggles that they might currently be going through right now. And so it reinforces that thought. That's why I chose that specifically. But yeah, those are basically my 3 hacks with journaling: love letters, intention setting, and journaling.
I'm
Hopefully
gonna
that.
start. Yeah, these two are the. I think so. When I was teaching music or learning music, my
Mhm,
teacher said it's not about if you're gonna practice 3 hours in the week.
mhm,
It's much. It's sorry. It's if you're gonna practice your instrument this week before next lesson. I'd
mhm.
rather you play 5 minutes a day than 3 hours on Saturday. Even though 5 minutes times 7 is way less than 3 hours, you still practice better, and it's
Yeah.
so true.
Yep.
And it's true for multiple reasons, but one of the reasons is also because you never do 5 minutes
Mhm.
because that's you set and you
Yeah.
started. If you start by
Atomic habits.
yeah,
If
yeah,
you
yeah,
get started,
yeah,
that's half the battle.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So if you start by saying, okay, I'm just gonna put my why I'm grateful for this for today, that's gonna happen, and then I'm gonna write a short tonight. I'm gonna write a short love letter to myself.
Yep.
You actually in front, you have a pen, you're there, and
Yep.
actually you start blah, 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 and then
Yep.
so what they say is if you want to learn about life, you read books. If you want to learn about yourself, you write.
Yeah.
And I guess yeah, it's funny because if you had said to me 3 4 months ago that I would stop drinking, I've never been an alcoholic, huh?
Uh,
Just
just something you enjoyed.
yeah, I would have said you're boring. And now I'm like, bro, it's the best thing I never did in my life.
Hmm.
And now, journaling was never a thing for me. And I guess it's one of these things where I'm gonna be like, oh, what the fuck? I never journaled in my life.
And then you want to know some really cool shit? Once a week, I take pictures of all my journals and I upload it to ChatGPT to a manifestation coach that I prompted. And I go, what are the patterns that you see? What are the
Wow,
improvements from last week? Where are the mental blocks that I might not see in myself?
wow.
And I just did that this morning. That's actually why I didn't do the intention because I popped it in there and I got so caught up just reading it. That makes, yeah,
Okay.
but it's really fucking cool. I can give you the prompt that I did in the original, in the beginning of the chat to
Yeah.
frame it.
Yeah.
And then you literally just once a week take pictures of everything in your journal and you upload it. And
Yeah.
then it'll tell you shit that
Wow.
you don't see, that you were like, whoa, what the? Some of it's like, okay, I knew that, but it's nice to have to the front of my attention.
Yeah. Yeah.
Get actionable steps, what to do next, how to make small adjustments.
Yeah.
Because like if it tells you like, if you're like, oh, like I went from writing like one love letter a day, and you're like, I gotta write 50 love letters a day. That's like you're never gonna do that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if it's like, no, 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 it's just when you write the love letter, instead of saying this, change it to this word. Then it's like small incremental changes over the week,
Yeah.
and yeah.
I'm gonna have to try to write correctly because I struggle reading myself sometimes. You write extremely cleanly, actually.
Sometimes,
Yeah.
sometimes when I'm in a decent state of mind,
Yeah.
yeah. Sometimes when I'm like getting an idea or something, or
Mad.
yeah, damn. I think this is going to be the longest recorded podcast
Is it?
I've had so far. Yeah,
Is
we're
this still
com-
working? Wanna have a look?
let's take a look. Hopefully, man. Don't jinx it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're still recording.
Nope.
We're at an hour 35 minutes. This is officially the longest
Oh wow.
recording of a podcast.
I feel I could have done better in chaptering.
Ugh.
It's my first time ever doing this.
First time doing a
Yeah.
podcast? You did great, bro.
Thank you.
Well, there is no chaptering. There's no structure to this. It's
No, but
literally
you know
like,
when you do public speaking, you kind of structure your speeches to not
yeah,
jump from one thing to another.
but this is not public speaking.
Yeah,
That's the whole point.
yeah, it's true. It's true.
It's literally the idea of this podcast is like, I thought of Bali Brotherhood when I made this, and how like, you know, we get those 5 minutes, 4 minutes, 6 minutes, whatever it is, and we just talk about whatever's going on in our life, uninterrupted, unjudged, and that's the idea of this podcast. You know, I
Who
saw
invented
that.
this stuff, man? It's fucking so powerful, and it's nothing else.
Yeah, yeah. So I was like, fuck, man. Like, one, these conversations are incredible, and two, like, I wish, like, I don't know anywhere besides here where men, like in Bali Brotherhood, where men can see that kind of conversation happening and see like, oh shit, like there's another dude going through the same struggle as me. Because a lot of them like don't, you know, they're taught like Italians, Irish people, they're taught like, yo, you take your emotions, shove that shit down, and you
In
shut the
alcohol?
fuck up and you be a man. So like for
Yeah.
me, the whole idea of the podcast was like, homie is watching right now, either tomorrow or next week or next month or 5 years from now, and he might be going through some of this shit, and he gets to just chill in on our conversation.
Yeah.
It's not meant to be like a, hey, this is what we're going to talk about today. I have no fucking idea. I got another podcast that I'm recording at I think 4 o'clock. No idea what's going to go on that. I had no idea what it was today. No idea what was going on. I show up, set up the mics, we do our thing, and whatever happens, happens.
Home is New York, right?
Home was New York.
Home was New York, yeah.
Bali is home now.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
What a city. Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah. So before we wrap up, tell us.
Sorry, but I was thinking it was gonna be so long, and 25 minutes in, I will be like, okay, what to talk about? And I just realized that's an hour 35 minutes. We didn't even start talking about you as much as we talked about me.
I'm gonna be on every episode.
Yeah, I know, but
if
still,
people want to learn more about me, they got plenty of episodes. The
Yeah,
last
okay.
one I posted with Pi, there's a lot about me. I cried in the episode. It was the first time. I knew I was gonna cry on this podcast. I didn't know it was gonna be that episode.
First one.
So yeah, there's plenty of time to talk about me. I'm happy you came. I'm happy the conversation flowed, and an hour and whatever it is, an hour and 40 minutes that we're in. It was dope. It was dope. So before we wrap up, what's what are you looking forward to in the coming season, as Bali Brotherhood says?
Yeah, I have two businesses right now that are cool, that are very simple to understand and very, they're not this offline, online crazy stuff. No, it's more like very standard offline, regular businesses. But they are not as, they don't represent who I am in my entire soul, in my entire
Uh-huh.
consciousness. But they are my they are like my school. They are like the things that made me become an entrepreneur. And now I'm discovering that I'm a lot of people are coming to me to ask to help for help.
Mhm.
Indonesians are asking me to westernize their business
Mhm.
in a way where I bring the vibe up within team building and all that sort of stuff, which is
Mhm.
so fascinating for me. You know how like hospitality teach staff to be an actor in their job, to be like
Mhm.
a like hi sir, how are you? Like to be like all this, and I'm building games and frames on how to work and how to build team building
Mhm.
because Indonesia has this a little bit of this old school way of teaching in schools, a very factory way of doing stuff, and
Like most
like
places.
most places, and I want to break that pattern. Like
Yeah.
we in Europe now, I really break down. Like when I work in, I'm a bartender for Festival de Cannes, like VIP
Mhm.
superstars and stuff like that, and we, bro, we're like vibing, you know, like we're having so much fun there, you know, and
Yeah.
that's how it should be, you know. So there's that, and then also Westerners are asking me how to build businesses here because, of course, I've been here 9 years, and I
Mhm.
start to understand
Yeah.
a little bit how it functions. How I have like currently I have 34 full-time employees,
Mhm.
Indonesians. So like I start to understand how to work with Indonesians, and I start to understand this country a little bit. So there's a world where I'm going to consulting
Mhm.
and talking and inspiring and all this stuff is like this new thing for me. It
Mhm.
seems quite natural. It seems like it's next step in my life,
Mhm.
and I'm getting a lot of people. Like I said, like I'm, I've been this journey of like asking random people to have coffee with, and now it's all these. When I meet people that are into consulting, wherever it is. Like yesterday, I met a guy that was consulting for like big corporate in New York. Um, and teaching them how to journal and how to write down what they could have done better today and all this
Mhm.
like he's like high level corporate,
Mhm.
executive level and but super spiritual conscious kind of vibe thing, and I'm like that exists. I want to
Yeah.
have a coffee with you. We're having coffee
That's the
and
yin to the yang. You got
yeah,
people in New York that's like, I gotta get it done. It's all about the business and the money. And then you get like a spiritual person. Like I think of T Bird when I think of that.
yeah,
Like
she's a
she's helped people all
magical,
around the world do stuff like that. And I'm like, that's what people need.
yeah.
So
So yeah, that's the next step of like that's so exciting for me, and I'm at the
yeah,
beginning. I just started looking that direction, and I started turning the steering wheel
yeah.
of my ship towards that direction. And I know that this is the next step where I'm gonna be fulfilled to a
Integrating who you
highest
are
point.
into what
Yeah,
you do.
really proud of it.
That's dope.
What I do now, and I'm happy and proud is great, but it's not. It doesn't represent my
Yeah,
being. This is gonna represent. This is gonna be amazing. So that's what I'm very
that's
excited about.
amazing.
So now I'm in the really beginning of what's gonna be my package, my
Hmm.
products. Who am I really? I'm defining all these things
Yeah.
right now, and it's a. I'm not there yet, but it's
Hmm.
really the new chapters. So now I'm gonna go back into personal development. I'm gonna read a lot of books about it. I'm gonna try all these different things, which
Dope.
is fantastic. Like what you just the journey. I'm gonna try all
Hmm.
these things, and I'm gonna take what I resonate with, build a package, and give this package to people and see how it reacts.
Yeah.
And be like, honestly, my dream life is to have no computer anymore and walk in spaces like this unprepared because all the work has been done, and I can walk in a
Hmm.
corporate thing with like 50 staff in front of me and make them play these games and build these
Hmm.
teams and level up their self-confidence and
Yeah.
their speaking ability, projection, and how they need to be proud of themselves and all this stuff, and I can do all this. I worked on myself enough that I can walk in and just be
Hmm.
myself
Yeah.
and not be doing this and just talk and vibrate everything
Hmm.
up. Man, that would be my
Yeah.
incredible life for me. And if it works in Bali, maybe I'll try to do it in Singapore and
Yeah.
travel doing. Oh, bro, like we're talking about the my best life right there.
Hmm.
That's my new chapter. Like I'm building now. Maybe we'll have a podcast in 6 months and I'll be there.
I'd love to. I'd love to,
Yeah,
man.
that's
If you need to be connected to anything, I've been meeting a lot of people. I'd love to help you out. If you ever want to do a workshop other than Terra stuff, um, I'm building a very good relationship with the owner of Loco Cafe.
I know
And
them very very well.
oh, you do?
I was there at the first workshops. All the the fact that they have a space for workshop is I'm part of why they have it.
Dope. Well, thank you,
Yeah,
because yesterday was dope being there.
yeah. Like the first acting classes, improv, and the first one was branded with my friend, the acting guy that was doing that. What's his name? Ah, it's an American guy, super cool guy. and we branded it as acting classes into how to make any conversation a flirty conversation.
A flirty
Yeah,
conversation?
and man, the whole thing filled up with 30 people
Oh my
instantly.
god, that's great.
And now we still do these acting classes. You would love that, like improv acting class,
Hmm.
situationship stuff. We do them now in Nebula co-working space
Every
every
once in a
Tuesday.
while, I'll go back and read the book, The Art of Witty Banter. Because like I'm a very analytical person by nature. Like numbers are my thing, and like systems, processes. So like every once in a while, I'll get like too analytical, and like conversations are like very like short to the point. And I'm like, all right, I gotta learn how to be flirty again. I gotta learn how to like be,
Yeah,
have
yeah.
that
I'm like,
banter.
dude, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that would be cool.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
now it's not so much about the flirty one, but it's about acting.
Yeah.
But the way they do it is just games, and we
Yeah.
go through like these games, and we crack up laughing, man. And we have so much good time.
That's dope,
It's really cool,
brother. I'm so happy you came on the show. Give me.
Yeah.
I would.
Keep doing that, man. It's amazing what you're doing. You know.
Thank you. If
Yeah.
you're not doing anything next Sunday, 11 o'clock, I would love for you to be a part of